Yo, what's up? This is On the Scene with Carissa Dez, my special guest co-host over here.
I'm Shawan, aka Shawilly.
And we're here with our special guest,
Scooter Rogers. How y'all doing?
Scooter Rogers. You're a hip hop artist. Are you a DJ too?
I am not. I leave that all to Dre Slaps. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. How long have you been making music for?
I've been making music independently. I think I started actually pursuing music in like 2019, I believe it was. So
Okay.
actually come up on 5 years this month. So it's been a
Nice.
journey.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Nice. How do you feel about your upcoming performance tonight?
I feel good. I mean, this feels more like a party than it does a performance, which I don't get to have that experience every single show, but literally, basically, I mean, from Dre Slaps, Mike Capes is here, Sam the First, Brookfield Deuces, the headliner. So we're all from the same camp. So like we just came having dinner together and stuff. So like being with all my brothers and coming from there to perform, like it feels more like a party. So I'm excited.
It's like the after party.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and there's gonna be the after party. Y'all get it.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, so
Okay,
I'm
wait.
I
excited.
didn't get my
Where'd you
invite to
go?
the after party.
Where'd you
Open
go for
invite.
dinner? I want to know.
Oh, we ate at Slaps' house and Brookfield Deuces performing tonight. He made the gumbo. So yeah, yeah.
Okay. Come friends with you guys. That sounds
Yeah.
good.
It was a real like family
affair.
event type deal. Yeah, it was
Yes.
Love that.
it was a rare vibe, if you will.
Mhm. So Rare Vibes is Dre Slaps record label. Is that true?
Yeah, so that's the conglomerate, the group. That's
You're included in.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But he started it though, right? Or was it like you guys?
I'll let
together
him.
at a
So
table?
I was one of the
You're like, oh,
newer
he gets it.
additions that were added. So for the history lesson, like that'll have to be something that Dre gives y'all. But I mean,
Okay.
yeah, that's the one that from the jump. Like it's funny too because it turns out we went to elementary school together. And then in the time that I wasn't speaking with Dre, I become really close friends with his wife in middle school.
Okay.
So everything kind of turned full circle a couple of years ago when I started coming around. Everybody was kind of like, so yeah,
Yeah.
We all know each other.
That's Portland. That's Portland.
100%.
Like I met Shawan recently, and I was like, "Hey, wait, you know this person, you know that person, you know that person." Okay, we're
Within
like,
a few
like, how
names,
did we not-
everything kinda
we're like, yeah,
connects.
me before, yeah.
She's like, we've
exactly.
met. I'm always like in Portland, we're like 2 degrees separation from every single person in this
Exactly.
city.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what makes it special, though. That's
Yeah.
like a
it's
I
a
don't
gift
know.
and a curse.
Yep. It's-
oh yeah.
it feels-
I felt the pinch of that curse before.
Yep.
Oh, we all have. But I mean, it's a bigger city in the Pacific Northwest, but yet when you're here for like over 5 years, it feels smaller, you know.
Oh yeah, exponentially.
Especially the hip hop music scene, or just like the music scene in general. Like once you're part of a music scene, it's like you just start to get to know everybody pretty quickly.
Yeah, 100%.
And I actually have been hearing your name, Scooter Rogers, for a couple years now since I popped into the music scene. First time was I saw you on Echo's video, Echo's music.
Oh, the
video.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Like
That was
the
fun.
airplane and stuff. Like that went off. I was like, "What? You guys? You did this?" This is
That day was
professional."
crazy.
Yeah. Can you tell me about that, like the airplane shot and everything?
Yeah, so we ended up going to McMinnville. So Echo is the kind of person where he's like, if I can't do this big, I really don't want to do it at all.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so despite the fact that he really didn't give me shit for details, I was like, it's about to be something big. I was like, where are we shooting? He's like, it's gonna be out near McMinnville. I was like, he's like, bro, just trust me. So we get there and there's that big aerospace kind of museum thing. So we got to go into like the replica, went to the cockpit. Like that's where the opening scene where I'm kind of walking around that corner starts in the video.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah, that whole day was that's I got to actually see how rock stars do their stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it takes a whole different level of energy. Like doing a rap video is like, it's tiring. It is what it is. But when you have to, that energy has to translate. So like, you don't get a single take or a second off or it looks weird. And so Echo's like, hey, everybody, like, I don't care what you got, give it all. So everybody's necks are all fucked up from headbanging the entire video. I don't headbang. So
That was your first time.
yeah. So trying to
Headbanging
figure that out.
muscles were
Yeah. It was
not
a
ready.
culture
Yeah.
shock, but it was fun because I kind of got to see how the other side lives.
Yeah.
And with that kind of like, it kind of spawned like, I mean, the respect was already there, but the extra creativity that comes along with it,
Yeah.
when you're kind of like, oh, I never saw myself in that light, but this song happened and this whole thing went off. Okay, well, what else can we do? So that video shoot alone kind of like opened my eyes up like from a creative standpoint. So
Yeah.
I think that might be the favorite
Sure.
of the videos I've done so far.
Yeah, Echo was like shirtless, screaming at the top of his lungs, like outside, like out of the airplane. Just like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
You've heard his regular voice then too, right?
Yeah.
So it's so crazy when you hear
Yeah,
him do that
the
scream
scream.
stuff, and then his regular voice is just so polite, but like
Mhm.
savage indeed when he grabs a microphone.
Oh
Shout out to
my
Echo. If you
God.
get to see this, bro, shout out to you. That's my guy.
Shout out. Yeah, he like crafted his voice to be like perfectly that, which I didn't know. I thought it was just like you just start screaming, but like people actually practice
Yeah,
that
there's
shit.
an
Oh
art
to
to
sound a
it.
no,
certain way.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know like folks in punk bands, and I'm like, we're inside of you. Do you get that voice?
Like, all
How do
your
you
anger.
roar?
It's like
Yeah.
your diaphragm has a diaphragm, and they just like find that extra reserve source and just push.
Yeah.
It seems healing.
I've tried it once. I actually
Ooh.
went to his studio to record, Echo's studio to record, and it sounded so bad. It
No.
sounded like a dying deer or something. I was like,
You were
"See,
doing
I
it from the
wasn't-
chest."
I wasn't made for this. He was like, just get out.
Work on the diaphragm, you'll get
Mhm.
it. You're also performing at Juke Fest. I think it's August 23rd.
August 23rd.
Kamaya's the headliner. Love Kamaya.
Same.
How do you feel going into such a large stage?
I'm excited. You know, like
Yeah.
so often, especially being like a smaller city, like we sit here and we're like, man, I can't wait to get the opportunity to, or man, if I could get in front of that crowd.
Yeah.
And this is one of those moments where it's like, all right, it's all there. So what you gonna do with it? Now there's no excuse. Show up and show out. So
Yep.
just been trying to get ready for it, and it's gonna be a big one. So I mean, it's always a pleasure to go out and like take the stage, because my thing is if I can just steal one listener that night, it's a win. But to
Yeah.
be able to do that in a spot where I'm gonna have exponentially more listeners for one, but two, like some people like Kamaya, the boy who I listen to on a regular basis,
Yep.
I'm about to be in front of, like that's, as an artist, this is the perfect storm. Like I'm excited.
Yeah, you're with your idols. Ugh.
I can't wait. It's gonna go crazy.
Where is it going to be at again? What stage?
Oaks Park.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had shows out there. But
I think this is the first hip hop show I know of. I don't know if they've done other shows or like maybe blues festival type stuff, but this is the first like hip hop. We're gonna see how it goes.
Well, I feel like also that'll be good for Oaks Park because they had like a little bit of a shit happen in the news recently.
I love the
so-
collective deep
Yeah.
breath from all of us.
So it'll be good promotion for them too.
Yes.
Things were literally flipped upside down.
Yeah.
So they need you just as much as you guys need
Get some
them.
positive rebranding going back on Oaks Park.
So what's the craziest stage that you performed on as of this date?
The craziest stage we talking just like shit happened in the audience, just like
Anything, I don't
vibes
know.
in general.
Yeah.
I think my craziest show. What was my crazy? I think my craziest show I've been to was the Laura Lawrence show, because
Oh, okay.
Lawrence is what like I refer to as like a genre bender. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like it's gonna be a little bit like rock in there, some hip hop, etc. So you get all types of crowds. So
Yeah.
everybody's showing up to party how they party,
Yeah.
and it's all got to work in this kind of cohesive vibe. And so
My favorite.
Echo, we performed the Four Horsemen song, performed that night too, and that was hell on earth
Was that
in
at
the best way.
2 Something gallery? Is that the one you're talking
Oh,
about?
not the 1823, the Mystery Gallery. It was at
No.
oh wait,
201 gallery or something.
it was Manicolta.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
That's where it was. And just that whole vibe, that shit was nuts. There was mosh pits,
Yes.
people were getting body slammed, someone got elbowed in the face, people got carried out. Like, so I come from hip hop shows, like, so typically, like, if it's
You
a
don't see
fight
that
or
very
something, it's like,
often.
ooh, we gotta like, hey, watch that, make sure that gets broken up. These kind of shows, it's like, yeah, it's
Everybody
encouraged.
gets
And I'm
on
just
it.
like,
Yeah.
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 The mosh is a
It's-
family. Like
yeah,
I,
it's
Yeah.
It's like
I
you're
come
gonna
from
punch somebody
mosh.
in the face, but then you got to pick them back
yeah,
up.
you're also giving
Exactly.
informed consent when you hop in too, so you know what you're, yeah. But I think
Just
that was
sign
the
something.
craziest.
Wait, hang on, sign this. Are you okay with it? Punch your face or not?
do a waiver before you
Yeah.
get in here.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Lord Lawrence definitely brings a lot of energy to his shows, and just all the time. I'm like, where do you get this energy from?
Always.
But the craziest show that I've been to was I don't know if you've heard of NASCAR Allo before, but he's kind
I
of
haven't.
like screamo
Yeah.
punk, but also like hip hop as well. So kind of
Oh.
like Lord Lawrence.
Got
but
that blend in there?
different. And he's pretty famous in like the underground. And I was just telling Shawan about this.
Oh.
I went to one of his shows. It was like 100 degrees outside, no windows, no air conditioning.
I'm
Like, people
already
were there-
panicking.
People were there for him. It was
Yeah.
like there were like red lights everywhere. It was like you were in hell pretty much. And people were just like getting body slammed. Like people were like just going crazy, like jumping on furniture, like throwing furniture at each other. And normally I'm like about the mosh pit, but that time I was like, I'm gonna set this.
Throwing
You're like,
furniture
this
is
is where
insane.
I bow out. I'm not. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah, I'm still getting like punched in the face a little bit, but I'm not like in the center. Like, yeah, sometimes people go off.
It's the throwing
Mosh
furniture.
pits.
I'm just like, yo.
Yeah, like okay, I can deal with a fist, but like a couch.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no.
so
You got sofas and love seats flying. I can't do it.
I don't go to many crazy shows. I think the one that I've been to that was probably the craziest was Flatbush Zombies
Mm.
and Joey Badass. We saw them. I forgot the amphitheater in Eugene. But Joey Badass is Hennessy bottle in hand, in a harness, tipping it over upside down, flying through the ceiling.
Oh,
I was like, okay,
that
this
sounds
is
fun. It's a life
I was
choice.
like, okay, I want to get on that ride. But just like the energy of the crowd, I was like, that makes a crazy show for me. I'm like, okay, give me all of that energy.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I
energy
need.
from the
Yeah.
crowd for sure. Yeah. What is your favorite thing about performing?
My favorite thing about performing, I think, is just what is my favorite thing about performing? It's a couple things I go into. For me, a lot of times I try to find like a game within the game, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm performing the same like set for the most part for the duration of my shows that I'm doing, how can I tweak this or find a new way to interact with the crowd and get them to respond in a certain way? Or how can I do a better job of conveying this that I didn't do last show? So just always trying to tweak it and find ways to make a better performance, because I think my favorite compliment that I've ever gotten musically has never been like, you're really good, you're talented, that shit was dope. It's always been, hey, I can see the growth.
Oh,
Because the growth is that one objective thing.
yeah.
Like, so if it's, oh, you're dope, you're this, you're that, okay, that depends on who you ask. But if you can objectively tell someone, hey, like, I see the growth, like, I don't think you can ask for a bigger compliment as an artist for real. So my biggest thing is always trying to find a way to just keep growing my set and growing my act or whatnot. So
Getting better.
yeah.
You never want to peak. I tell the kids that. I'm like, don't peak right now. Always be a student.
Yeah, every peak implies there's a fall off. I just want to keep ascending this way.
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime where I felt like I peaked and I feel like I'm a badass, then there's always like somebody to humble me where they're like, you're not that cool, actually.
Or it's like, what's the next challenge? Like, okay, if I master this one, what's the next thing I can jump into? Like,
What I always hear when I ask that question, or when I ask artists that question, they usually say like they like the energy, like the reciprocal energy from the crowd, like they're giving it and they get it back.
yeah.
And a lot of artists say that they're not going to even perform for people if they're not getting that same energy back. Which I mean, at first when I first started hearing that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then like I've gone to some shows where there's only been like 10 people in the crowd, and then the artist just like puts on an amazing show for those 10 people.
Hell
and then
yeah.
they have fans for life. You know? Like,
and then, I mean, you got to start somewhere too. So you might be in a situation where that night you've only got 10 people. Give them the best show you can. Let those 10 people go tell their friends.
Yep.
Next show, we've got more people turning out. Now more folks can start to see what you're doing. But if you already take it from a like, oh, the energy's not there, fuck it. Okay, you're never going to win anybody over.
yeah.
No.
And then the 10 people who are there are going to be like, that guy sucks.
And if you won't do that, there is somebody else, I promise you, that will put that show on.
Yeah.
If you're watching, if you listen, if you don't want to put the show on, don't worry. I swear to God, somebody else will.
True.
It might be me, but always put the
Give them a
show
call if
on.
You don't want to do it.
Always put the show on.
Yep. So what do you like to do when you're not making music?
Eat, sleep, a fuck ton of sleep when I can get it.
I know. The
I
insomnia has been hitting hard. You said.
been super hard, yeah. Like, and my girl can sleep, so I'm like, I always feel bad when I can't. Like, let me just like sneak my way out of the room so I don't keep nobody else up. And then I'm like downstairs on the couch or something. I'm just like,
How considerate. I love that. My past partners are like little ogres running into the room. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm awake now.
Oh, I try to move. So I'm a light sleeper too. So I think that's where my insomnia kicks in as well. Like, anytime I'm trying to go to bed and like something kicks, I'm like, I'm up again. So with that, I also do a lot of my writing at that time. I work out during that time and play video games. I'm always going to be a kid. I just look older, but my favorite pastimes is gaming still. But if not that, then just hanging out with my daughter, hanging out with my girl, riding scooters, falling off my skateboard, regular people shit. So
I love it.
Yeah.
What game are you playing? What are you playing?
I was playing 2K and then it pissed me off. So I'm taking it back right now. And I'm currently playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
Classic.
So it's on the PlayStation, but the graphics, everything are kind of like the old art school, kind of Chuck E. Cheese type of, And so me and the homies get online and play arcade mode. Yes.
That's cool.
I love that nostalgia.
Yeah.
I'm playing Mortal Kombat. I'm just
I love come
that.
on.
Yes.
Who's your character?
I do love Katana.
Fair.
Jax.
Like, the big bear.
I'm gonna get you into it. We gonna get
it. But I just don't remember what's the one that spins. Koshi something. You know what I'm talking about? The one with like the knives that spins. And then Nina. Nina? Am I like thinking about?
I was like, is that not Katana?
And then Nina also
It's
is.
not
Am I
Yoshinobu,
thinking
is
of
it?
Nina.
Street Fighter? It makes them Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat up.
Oh, that happens a lot too. That's fair. That's fair. Street Fighter's fire too, though.
Yeah, I like a fighting game. I'm like, when I started playing video games, I'm like, I can just button mash my way to win until I learn how to do the actual skill. So I'm just gonna do that.
That's how we all learn Super Smash Bros.
That's how we all learn. Yeah. Do you ever get inspiration from video games, or like also what if you don't, then what do you get inspiration for making music?
Honestly, just a lot of day-to-day life. Honestly, I mean,
You fall off your
And-
skateboard, and then you write a song about it, type shit.
I broke my arm.
Let me get into my Green Day Simple Plan era. But honestly, a lot of it is just from life. So like really whatever kind of phase I'm in, you kind of get that from my music naturally. So if I'm in a space of Jubilee and everything's great, you're gonna get a lot of like upbeat kind of turn up music.
Mhm.
If it kind of sucks, you're kind of gonna get some more like introspective, how can I fix this type deal? Or some days you're gonna get some random ass, I just want to have some fun and see what sticks type of music. But no matter what it is, I mean, it's typically, well, now that I think about it, damn, a lot of my past albums have come from like Heartbreak or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so that's also
Yeah.
funny too, because now I'm in a spot where it's like, that's not really relevant in my life anymore. And so
Yeah.
now I'm kind of like, I find myself, I'm sitting, I'm writing because I always try to figure out, okay, what's going to be the next thing? Like, what's that next topic?
Yeah.
And just kind of as life flows, I'm like, oh, I'm writing a whole bunch of like happier, more bouncy shit. I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of let life kind of take me wherever. But
Sure.
sound wise, like sonically, I've been kind of trying to expand on that. So there's been guys like Childish Major, Nick Grant, picked up some new sonical kind of like inspiration from the last Schoolboy Q album, stuff like that. So just trying to stay tapped in with artists who don't want to be inside the box.
Yes. Yeah.
And that kind of gives me inspiration to keep my ideas open. That way I can kind of just let whatever is kind of flowing through, just kind of take me wherever. So I don't really have like a set source of kind of inspiration, just wherever it seems to hit at that time. If I'm like,
A true art imitates life.
if I feel enough to
Right
write
there.
about it, then I go.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Can you give us your socials before you go?
Yeah, I don't be on Facebook for real. If you hit me on Facebook, I'm assuming you never want to hear from me ever in your fucking life, and that's fine. But Instagram, Twitter, it's just going to be at Scooter Rogers _. So at SCOOTERROGERS _. So.
On Instagram too, you said?
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, well, X now, wherever the kids are calling it these days. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Twitter,
X.
Well, this has been On the Scene with Carissa Dez
And Shawilly.
with our special guest.
Scooter Rogers, East Side Out.
Take care.
Brains off the whip. Hey, just to get some rain from your mate, and I did